Our current history dates back to the decision by the nation to take back law enforcement from the Bureau under a 638 self-determination contract. In October of 2000, the department was reactivated with 4 officers. I was officer number 4. We have 6,300 square miles of tribal land in trust status with the United States government, and it's in a checkerboard area over 7 counties in southwest Oklahoma. And this is our area. Basically, if you think of, in your mind, from Altus to Duncan, Anadarko to the Red River. Some noted accomplishments of our department. We were accredited under the Oklahoma Law Enforcement Professional Standards Program. We are the only tribal agency in the state accredited under the state program. We've been accredited since April of 2004. In 2007, we received a Special Recognition Award for Operation Peacekeeper in our support to the Northern Tribes. In 2014, 15, and 16, we were honored by the Fires Program at Fort Sill on their Operation Live Well Health Expo. We present out there with our DARE and our canine. And currently I'm the president of the Oklahoma Association of Chief of Police. Not a real good picture, but in this picture, up to 2005, the tribe did not have any representation on that board of chiefs of police. In this picture, we have 3 tribal chiefs on the executive board. I'm the second tribal chief of police as the president. The Wyandottes preceded me. What do we get out of being an accredited agency? Our relationship with the state and municipal agencies were better received. It's removed the stigma of tribal agencies being second rate. And the most significant benefit is that the tribal community can perceive its law enforcement services as being professional. What did we do? Drug eradication. This is from an allotment on the Grady Cattle County line where we removed some 6,300 plants of marijuana. We have made 4 visits since this was taken. Meth labs. When I came on the department in 2000, we had no way to deal with meth labs. We had to depend on the DEA or BIA. So we sent our officers to Iowa, to get trained on how to do this in-house. And we put it in practice. This is a meth lab in Caddo County. Okay, investigation and case preparation. Each month we get about 100 incidents. Of that, 35 to 40 are criminal cases, and they are looked into and forwarded to the BIA or the FBI for additional investigation. And then they're sent to either CFR court or to the Western District Oklahoma CVB docket. Basically, if non-Indians get sent to the CVB docket, tribal members go to the CFR court. Also, we also have about 70 to 100 deaths a year, and each one of them has to be investigated. All suicide, accidental, attended or unattended deaths are investigated. Drug cases. All these came from the casinos. From methamphetamine, marijuana, oxycodone most likely. That's also meth. Their paraphernalia, Weapons. Drugs and weapons don't mix too well. But this is what we are seeing increasingly at the casinos. Counterfeit money. All denominations. From the $1 bill, why you would spend time and effort to make a $1 bill, to the $100 bill. Okay, we have community activities. We provide a DARE officer. We do not have any schools of our own, so why do we have a DARE officer? We have tribal members that attend the public schools in our community. Many of them do not have school resource officers, so we support them by providing individuals who are trained in DARE so our children, our grandchildren, can have an opportunity to have that program. We have a Shop with a Cop and Cops and Kids program targeted specifically for our tribal youth so they can have the activities that other communities have. We have a new Crime Stoppers program. Why do we need a Crime Stoppers program? A lot of activities occur in our area, jurisdiction, that's not covered by the Lawton Crime Stoppers. They have supported as well. And we've had an incident at the smoke shop where we broadcasted on their Crime Stoppers program, and we was able to resolve that incident. But our jurisdiction spans outside of Lawton. So we have an opportunity for any tribal member who has information on crimes that occur in our jurisdiction to contact us. And we also are establishing neighborhood watches. November last year, a law was passed where in lands that are fee simple, we can enforce state law. Metatchi community sits in county. They do not get the best representation right now from county because county's understaffed, just like every agency around here. They wanted a neighborhood watch. We went to the county, asked them if they would have a heartburn if we established one. So we're in the process of establishing a neighborhood watch, the first one over here in Metatchi. We protect our communities. This happens to be the water rights hearing. That there is Cops and Kids. We have an interest in our community because we're from the community. We protect our youth. That is the dinner where we're getting ready to go in to eat, and that's for our Shop with a Cop. There are children that are selected by ICW to participate that would probably not have a very Merry Christmas because of economic circumstance, broken home, or whatever the case may be, or their families are in need. We provide for them an opportunity to shop and have a meal and spend time with us. And this is the Cops and Kids. Those two programs, from conception to now, has not cost the tribe a dime. They've been sponsored by activities and fundraising efforts from the people we do business with. Most of the car dealerships in Lawton, the people we take our cars to go get repaired, the banks we deal with, all give us donations. Walmart on both stores have donated hundreds of bikes. Okay, that's a little bit more information on what we do. Future goals. We've been tasked to assist in establishing the new tribal court system. When that is established, we will have to support by providing the bailiff, court service, and prisoner transport. Also, with the expansion of our gaming facilities into Jefferson County, there's a need for us to expand our coverage into those areas. It's an hour and 45 minutes from here. So how do we make sure that any entity we have in Jefferson County is properly covered? We're looking at a substation in Ranelette at the casino location. We have an office there now. We have communications there now, and we can operate out of there if and when Jefferson County becomes a reality. Projected needs. To do the things that we're tasked to do and continue the service that we provide to you now, we will need to add 3 officers to support the casino expansion need and the court facilities. We want to replace our canine, which we had to take out of service because of health, because the canine is our primary tool in addressing the drug activity at the casino. We can take a canine at any time without probable cause, free air sniff the entire parking lot. Now, when that canine alerts, we get into the jurisdictional issues of making sure that we have probable cause, identifying who has the car, and we go in, look at surveillance, find who drove it there, where they're at in the casino, and make contact with them and proceed with our case there. Also, we have some vehicles in our fleet which are aged to a point that they're maintenance nightmares. And it is best for us to seek to upgrade these vehicles to newer vehicles than try to continue to repair them.
Mr. Byrne,
Yes,
a
sir.
question comes from out of jurisdiction. Does CNLE have cross jurisdiction? Can they arrest and or give tickets?
Depends on the jurisdiction. We have memorandums of understanding through the Bureau of Indian Affairs, through the state of Oklahoma, with 7 different municipalities. We also are currently working with the city of Lawton for all of our land, which is in the jurisdiction of the city of Lawton, to be able to take those cases to their municipal court and enforce state law on those properties. Yeah.
Okay, also, I believe what they're asking is, I know we just signed an agreement with the city of Lawton.
Yes.
Could you amplify on that?
Okay, the state law that was passed last November allows CLEAT certified tribal officers that are DSO'd with the Bureau of Indian Affairs to enforce state law in our tribal communities which are not in trust. A stumbling block occurs with some properties where the district attorney does not want to do that. However, the city of Lawton has stepped up and said, we will take your cases in our municipal court. So the agreement was passed with the city council of the city of Lawton, 8-0, and approval to take those cases into their municipal courts. And we have a big footprint into the city of Lawton.
Okay, one last question. It seems like almost every question everybody on the live stream is asking, could you please give a detailed percentage amount of, I guess, of patrol, vehicle usage, manpower staff? Now, I know our new CEO at gaming, like you alluded to, there's this new thing coming about, prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go to an effort of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. I did my walkthrough at Red River last night. One thing about a Red River casino, everybody looking and watching and here, we have so many people from Texas coming that we overflow the parking. And the only ones going to the Kiowa casino, and I'm going to say this boldly, are the ones that couldn't find a parking spot. So, you know, it is a very popular casino, and it does provide 2/3 of our finances from there. So with that said, is that possible to possibly put it in our newsletter, a breakdown, because they see a huge budget, and I understand what they're saying here. If you could throw the percentages out there for them for clarity and good transparency, is that possible?
We have 25 sworn officers. We have a criminal investigation of 2 people. We have a training department of 1 person. We have community activities, which is our DARE and our community policing with 2 people. And everybody else is in patrol. That's our largest department, and there's 16 sworn in there. We have some vacancies that have not been filled, and we have a canine vacancy which has not been filled. We hope to fill these with this new budget. 85% of the docket that goes to the CVB docket come from the casinos. Probably 2/3 of our docket that goes to CFR court, which is basically all the other jurisdictions plus non-Indians, if they're at the casino, are from the casino. Drugs and alcohol, and we don't even get to address the traffic yet until we get our new court system. The Traffic Safety Council last year in their study showed that 2/3 of all the fatalities in Oklahoma occurred close to a casino. So I have no way to adequately address that situation till we have our own court where we can take those offenders that do not use good judgment and drive intoxicated to court. Currently, I could take the non-Indians to court, but until I'm able to address the non-Indians and the Indians equally, I'm not going to target just the tribal members. When we get that in place, we will address equally the non-Indian Indian on the traffic violations, particularly driving while intoxicated.
One last question. They're asking, we don't get no proceeds from the Lawton or city or county court. You and I both know when we have our own court, the fees, the fines, the court could more or less be self-sustaining.
Very easily. Currently, all the fines, penalties, court costs remain with either federal court, the district court, or CFR court. With the traffic court, we can enforce traffic laws, and that would generate revenue fairly to us. The same thing that you would see in most communities, and particularly the city of Lawton. Any
But you mentioned your casino budget, funds coming from casino and federal dollars. What's the total dollars?
Okay, federal dollars, we get $468,000 a year. That funds my top 6 salaries. That has not increased since the program got caught up with the continuing resolution, because the federal programs could not raise their budgets. So each year we operated for the last 5 years on a continuing resolution. Hopefully with Congress in the new format, a federal budget will be passed and that could be addressed. Also, we are looking at going self-determinate, and so we will come directly from Washington, D.C. versus going through Southern Plains. So that would take some additional cost out of there.
The other budget?
Oh, our other budget, We are asking for $3 million. Our current budget this year is 1.98. Our indirect was 495,000, which is 2,475,000. So it's an increase. We are looking also to fund support equipment through the C-Task grant. I'm working diligently with our grant writer to identify 5 vehicles to support our vehicle fleet. And we're going to the District Council, Oklahoma District Council, to ask for $10,000 for body cameras.
Okay.
I have one other
Oh,
question.
go right ahead.
Do you handle trespass, if there's trespass on individual tribal trust land?
Yes,
So we would contact you if we have a trespass?
absolutely.
Would you give me the telephone number?
1877 Tribal 911.
Or you can contact us at 580-492-3789.
Thank you.
With the trespassing, are you kind of aware of where the properties end and begin? Like me, I'm always saying me. But my property is not fenced in. People come and cross and walk and whatever they want to do. And so is your department kind of aware of where our properties end and begin? So you won't say, give me proof, which I've been told in the past. We need to see proof of your ownership. Now kind of the officers kind of know, they just understand that it's my property, and they said, no, you don't need proof, just call us. So how is that going to work out?
We will respond. The issue is, if it's not defined, the court might not take the case.
I don't want to go to court. All I want you to do is talk to somebody and tell them, do not cross this property again. It's not yours.
We can do that.
So with the city of Lawton, are you saying 8-0, they're for helping you?
Yes.
Okay.
It was unanimous.
Oh, that sounds good, because we spend a lot of money there.
Yep, we sure do. We have a big footprint.
Oh, and another thing is, I wanted to commend your, on the being aware of the issues of our Comanche people, with some of them with issues, mental health maybe not is the appropriate word, but intellectual disabilities, that you're starting to realize that maybe there's some people that shouldn't be just grabbed and thrown to the ground or shot because they're not, like national news does to the people. But your department is starting to make more awareness of this issue, and I appreciate that, because we do have some natives that have this issue, but nobody seems to want to talk about it, but it's there.
A lot of people see the incident that happened in Ferguson, and they say all police officers are that way. Ferguson happened for a reason, and the reason was their department did not represent their community. 85% or about of the officers of the Ferguson Police Department were retired or soon to retire police officers from the St. Louis Police Department who were working in Ferguson but not living in the community. Our officers live in our community. Our officers are part of our community. Our officers are married to members of our community. We hire tribal members first. And we have done very well with that. We have a vested interest. I think my grandchildren are very important. So when we have a school that does not have a DARE program, we're going to try to address that if we can, budget permitting.
You know, one thing to help our tribal members become part of you is to have an intern program. You know, I'd like to see part of your budget set aside for an intern, you know, where you bring high school graduates in and let them work with you a season or seasons so that they can see what the job is, and then hopefully assist them in the funding, if not the nation assist them in their schooling so they can go on and get a degree or that education to work in the department. Because I feel we should be moving more, that there are more Comanche members in the police department.
Absolutely. We do have a program that's not necessarily an internship. I think Mr. Speaker had a question back here. We have what we call a Citizen Police Academy. And we're proud of our Citizen Police Academy because it's an opportunity, and it came about because a CBC wanted to know more about what we do. So we invited them down there, we had lunch, and we went through what we did. We explained in more depth what we do. We have opened that up to any employee, any tribal member who wants to come find out more. We've had 4 of these. We currently have 26 people that comes out here on Tuesday night. We have a meal, and we talk about what we do. We have had the U.S. Attorney's Office down. We've had prosecutors down. We've had court judges down, people that we work with and how we interact with those programs. And I think it's been well received. It's certainly been eye-opening to a lot of people. And on the first night, I sit there, I give a little bit of the history, I talk about the manning, I talk about our budget, I talk about what we do, and the floor is open for them to ask anything they want. Only 2 rules. I cannot talk about juvenile cases because of statute, and I cannot talk about cases that are open. But other than that, they get to ask anything. So if you want to know more about us, sign up for the next Citizen Police Academy. We're in the middle of one right now, so when we announce the next one, we'll put it out in the newspaper.
I appreciate Mr. Tipicani's question. There are a lot of criminal justice Native American kids, be it Kiowa, Apache, Comanche. There's about 10 in this criminal justice classes at Cameron right now, and I know you're very relevant. So hopefully we reach out to that. Thank you, Mr. Vern Griffin, Law Enforcement. Thank you, sir.